Hi, I'm talking with Mike Burke, and one of the things I want to get Mike's insights on is from a business leader's perspective. I guess one of the burning issues they're constantly having at the moment is how do I implement whether it's whatever change they're looking to do in their business. So from a business leader's perspective, where do you see the role they're playing and how they can actually help make this a real success in their business?
Yeah, good question, James. And yes, certainly I agree it's a hot topic, and I think it always has been, to be honest. But
Yep.
If I was a business leader, the first port of call I'd be going is to the toolbox area and looking at the 8-week cycle. It works really well for implementation of, I say not for easy, quick fix projects, because you should just be able to nail those. Which coffee machine do we buy for the kitchen?
The simple stuff.
So that's just, give that to the PA or whatever it is to look at. But I'm talking about the harder to fix issues, the opportunities or the problems that just won't go away, operational issues, marketing issues, sales issues, cash flow issues, etc., people issues. And then as a leader, I'd be looking at that 8-week cycle, because what it does is it fast track good change. Right? So
it doesn't just go after the burning issue and try and fix that straight away. There's actually some good strategy.
Yeah, it's good. The way it's structured, for a start, even I just love week one, because week one says, look, let's just stop the press. Let's stand back and go, what are we trying to fix here? And it was called a brief. We needed to write a good brief on what are we trying to fix. So if we're worried about a particular process, well, what is it about the process we want to fix? The brief, why are we trying to fix it? What don't you want the team to look at? It's a good question. What do you want them to look at? Who's in the team? What resources they got available? Just thinking those things through before they start the project and get everyone aligned on what the issue is and what they have to fix. You don't want people halfway through thinking, oh, but I thought we were going to look at this or we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So you almost want to nut that out beforehand. And then going through the 8 weeks, and for those who are watching, make sure you look at the tool. But week one is the now analysis, and then it goes into the where, what's your end game, what's your answer, how you're trying to fix it. Sitting back and looking at data, etc., right through the final presentation. So for the business leader, if I was a CEO or a managing director, I actually wouldn't get involved in the teams. I'd be almost sitting back behind a curtain, just peering and watching my teams.
Yep.
So you might be big enough where you have your own internal people driving this process, or you might have your Mindshop advisor helping you on that process.
And what sort of things would they typically be looking for in standing back from the process?
They'd be looking primarily at how the issue's going, because that's what's there to be fixed. But there's so many hidden benefits in the behind the curtain, because you're watching your teams and you're watching who are the leaders. You might have team leaders for the team, but they may not be the leader. There might be someone else that's starting to put their hand up and showing great leadership while you're watching. There might be people that are blocking. That this 8-week cycle brings all these people I call up on stage, and they can't hide. So you're watching, I didn't realise they were a blocker. Why are they sitting at the back of the room with their arms folded every session, come in late and leave early? They're trying to sabotage. They hadn't seen that. So you just see so many different behaviours just by watching the team and how they behave. I think that's the role of the leader. But also to help the team and put some time and effort into training them in basic business tools. The Mindshop tools, force field, mind mapping, one-page plan. So the team are at least armed with some good tools to help them in their project. Don't leave them under-resourced.
So it doesn't just become a talk fest.
No.
Every single meeting they're actually getting some, uncovering the real issues by digging a bit deeper using the tools. You find a lot of people fall into that trap, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. And look, the companies I work with, they follow the 8-week process really well. There's a lot of excitement in it, because it just fast tracks change. Is the meeting, each weekly meeting, we say that if we're sitting there scratching our heads, we've got a problem. And the meeting should be reporting back from last week. What homework did we do during the week in the team? You two went and did this. You two went and looked at another company. You two did some research on the internet. Let's all get back our information. What have we found this week, and now what's the next set of homework? And maybe do a mind map or a force field in the session, but not a talk fest, as you say.
Yeah, and I guess the leader, is certainly another role that they're playing is around accountability as well. It's making sure that the teams are sticking and doing what they say they're going to be doing.
Yeah, well, just a little nuance with one of my clients is halfway through they do a one-page report to the MD and the watching committee as to where they're at. So it's like a little bit of a safety net. If they're meant to be here at week 4 and they're actually here, we can go, right, let's help them now. Let's not wait to week 7 or 8. minutes too late,
Mm-hmm.
so that we might come in halfway and just say, right, how you going? What is there any help you need? That sort of thing.
Okay, and I guess lastly, probably the other dynamic that I think you've seen also is around if they've got multiple project teams, some just aren't going to work, and that's probably not a bad thing because it's going to tell you a lot about the business as well.
Yeah, no, good point. Particularly when you're first doing this with a client, within your own business. I always say kicking off, you'll probably have one team will work, one team that'll almost totally fail,
Yep.
and one team that's a bit half-baked. And I think every time I've kicked this off, that's been the exact...
Well, and again, it probably comes back to, you'll find some teams that have probably been led by the wrong person, but it certainly would tell a business owner or leader within a business a lot about just watching this whole process play out.
That's right. The smart business leaders get it because they go, when you hear their language, they'll go, yeah, look, using 8 weeks cycle, this project team didn't get what we wanted, but that didn't matter because we learnt so much. And that's when you get the smarts that you go, that's good. They've learned about their people. They might have learnt what not to do.
Yeah,
And that's the lesson in itself.
terrific. All right, thanks for that, Mike.